Hey everybody, this is Jamie Steelman with Team Steelman Mortgage. Thanks for joining us today. Today in studio, we have somebody I've been looking forward to getting to know a little bit better that has a lot of cool stuff going on, and I think you're really going to enjoy hearing from him, and that is Mr. Aaron Hines. So thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, man, thanhanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're just going to jump right in. Tell me a little bit about you, who you are. I know online we kind of know each other a whole lot. We both spend a lot of time at this place here at the HIT Lab, so just tell everybody a little bit about what you do and what you got going on.
Yeah, so I specialize in 45 and older personal training for men and women. We mainly have women, but guys, you can still come out and train with us. That's totally okay.
Yeah.
With that, but we've been in Brentwood for 9 years.
Okay.
For that, so kind of done a little bit of everything, but we've really specialized in the 45 and older pre and post orthopedic training, getting people back from injury, but living life pain free. That's kind of our motto for that. I've been training for 15 years, but
wow.
I kind of got my start in grad school years ago. I like to say I got the leftover people that no one wanted to train because they weren't really the most fit, or they had a lot of other issues going on. I remember my first client had rods down the middle of her spine, and I kind of looked at myself and was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
I figured it out, and then from there we kind of worked our way up from 2010, now fast forward to 2025 now. So.
Wow. So I'm right in that category, 45 and up. So I'm 51 myself. So, and I was just going to share with you one of the things, reading some of your posts and some of your reels and stuff, me and my wife talked a little bit about. So about 2 years ago, I guess we joined a gym and, hired somebody to personal train, do that kind of stuff. And we went for a little while and we were just like, man, we felt like we're both not where they want us to be. If that makes sense, at our age. It was just like a cookie cutter program, like just do this. And we were like, man, I think I could have done that when I was in 30. And I went to the gym a little bit, but I feel like they're further along than our bodies are ready to start here, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, you get that sometimes. It's like a one size fits all.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, we got to figure out what I can and can't do currently because, as we age, things start to hurt a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm pushing almost 40 and I've got my own set of problems as far as joint pain and discomfort. You go to sleep pain free, you wake up and something hurts.
Yeah.
So sometimes, you find that with, I'll say a lot of personal trainers where they've got one program and they want to fit it to everybody.
Yeah.
And I have found over the years, like, you just can't do that because I've got 40-year-olds and 75, 80-year-olds and they just physically cannot do the same thing.
Sure.
It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, I've got an aunt that lives here in the Knowlesville area. She's 86. And she goes to a gym, works out all the time, plays golf probably like 3 or 4 times a week when the weather's good, which just blows my mind. I mean, she's in phenomenal shape. And I'm like, a lot of the longevity in my family is not there. So I keep telling her, like, I hope I have just your genes and not everybody else's, because her longevity is amazing. So I don't know exactly, what kind of program she's on and stuff, but it's always impressive when I tell people, she's in her 80s and going to the gym a couple times a week or how often. So, I mean, is it something that more people should do and just don't do? Or is it more of, people are just not aware that, keeping their body moving and how beneficial that can be at an older age?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of the things that they should be doing, they don't want to do because it's some of the hard things, I like to say. It's the stretching, the mobility work to kind of increase the range of motion through your joints, and the strength training too. There's a lot of things out there with strength training that, you should do this, you should do that. I'm kind of the point where it's like, you should just do what works for you and not worry about what everybody else is doing, because there's a lot of crap out there, to be nice, that, like you said, it's a one size fits all and it's not going to work for you. So, do the things that you probably don't want to do and do those a lot more than the things you like to do, because the things you like to do are usually like the bicep curls, the bench presses, walking on the treadmill, or just getting some cardio in.
Yeah.
And the things you could really benefit from for longevity wise is balance, working on your balance, getting stronger so that way you can stand up. So if you do fall, you have some muscle and absorption. That way you're not going to be, I'll say, frail and brittle and break a lot of bones. And that's a lot of things we work on as far as what we do. A lot of strength training. We want everybody to be stronger. So, if it becomes easier with a 15-pound dumbbell, we want to go up to 20.
Okay.
Now, we're going to probably cap out at some point because just physically, genetics, limb length and things like that are going to probably limit us a little bit.
Okay.
But we got to get stronger as we get age because things get harder.
Yeah.
As hard as like opening up a can of jalapenos or a jar of jelly.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be surprised how many people can't do that. That's when they pass it off.
Yeah.
Probably saw it last week at Easter with that. Hey, open this for me.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I mean, as you get older, people want to be independent. They want to live on their own as much as they can, not rely on somebody else. And I think I've noticed with elderly people in my own life, and I don't know what number means elderly, but older people, those kind of things really frustrate them a lot, just because a lot of people are very independent, have always done things for themselves. So when they get to a point where they can't and they have to ask for help, it kind of really frustrates them. So they probably don't even realize going to the gym is actually going to put them in a position to be more independent and feel like they're taking care of themselves. Yeah,
it really is. And some of those things that they struggle with, I'll say later on in the aging process, 70s, 80s, if they would have done something, 10 years prior, we call it the shoulda, woulda, couldas.
Yeah.
They may not be in that situation, or they could be in the situation, but it may be a little bit easier for them for that. I see a lot of going up and down stairs for individuals. It's hard. Yeah. It's harder than it was. And so, you've seen a lot of people hold on to handrails, and that could be going down to a sporting event. Some sporting events don't have handrails, but holding on to them or holding on too much, they rely on it the whole way through. So when they're done or they're going home, their upper body hurts more than their lower body because they've used their entire arm and upper body strength for that. So the challenges are there. I want to say nip it before it gets worse.
Yeah.
I came across I was meeting with a friend last week, and we were talking about the whole thing of aging and what we can predict and what can be an indicator of, mortality rate. That sounds kind of morbid, but grip strength is a big thing. And it's not just the dynamometer where you've seen before where you really kind of push, pull, and you get a high number and you're like, oh, man, that's pretty good. That's great, but it's only your hand. So we were talking through like actually doing a straight bar hang, and you've seen, you hang on a bar, you hang up through, and it's your full body weight as opposed to just your grip strength here. Okay. So if you can hold it for, he told me about 2 minutes of your full body weight, because it's gravity pulling yourself down, and you may work at only be able to do that for 10 seconds. It's like doing a pull-up, except you're not pulling chin over the bar. Yeah. Hold it for 10 seconds, and then as you get stronger, hold it for a little bit longer.
Wow.
But if you can hold your body weight for at least 2 minutes, that is a prime indicator if you're going to live longer than some of your friends who can't do it at all.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever done that before, not maybe being very strong, we can train you to be stronger and hold it longer. But if you just go up there and hold it, you're like, I got this for 30 seconds. And you look, you're like, it was 12.
Yeah, that was
it. That was it. So it's a little frustrating, but that's a big indicator of longevity now for the aging population.
Wow. I was just thinking, I know not a lot of mortgage talk, but you were talking about the stairs and everything. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to in their 50s where I'm at. Yeah. They're like looking to downsize into a one-level house because the stairs are just like, I can't do that anymore. Yeah. And I'm like, whatever average lifespan is, I mean, if you live 70s and 80s, you've got 20 or 30 years, and right now you can no longer walk upstairs for the rest of your life. Yeah. And then when you're out of the house, if that's a problem. So, I mean, if you're conforming your whole life around, I can't go up and down stairs. Now, a serious medical condition is something totally different. But if it's just, I'm out of shape. Yeah. And then you're conforming to, I need a one-level house because I don't want to ever go upstairs again. Then, like you said, sporting events, anything you go to, stairs are going to create an issue and make you not want to do it, not want to go there, need help every time you do it. So, I mean, that's fascinating to me.
Yeah, you'll either surpass the stairs or you just won't go to the sporting events. And usually what happens when you stop doing stuff, usually lifespan decreases and you die early. That's just facts. I mean, that sounds kind of crazy, but you stop doing, and once you either use it or you lose it. Once you lose it, then things become a lot harder, and you'll usually just say, it's easier for me just to stay home and not go and watch it on TV, and then it's just a slow decline from there.
That makes so much sense. Wow. That just blows my mind because just kind of putting those little things together is like, that makes so much sense. Yeah, and you always hear about people once they finally retire. Some people don't want to, quote unquote, retire because if you stop doing stuff, it seems like lifespan just goes. Not doing anything, it decreases.
It does, and that's kind of where we come in as far as what we do. So it's like the retirement age is the perfect age to either continue what you've been doing, strength training, or to start because, you're out of the routine. You're not doing all those things you were You may be doing a little bit more yard work or going for walks and things like that. But the biggest thing we're trying to help the aging population with is like playing with your grandkids, going on trips. You want to travel more. You want to, and when you travel more, that means more walking, more climbing, higher elevations depending on where you go. So, I mean, that's the goal for you to go on vacation like that and come back. And the success is, I didn't need help. Wow. I did the whole trip. I didn't need any help. I didn't need somebody to put my luggage in the overhead, or I didn't need help. I didn't have to go to the airport and use the the handicap or the golf carts or whatever they use.
Sure.
So I mean, that's a huge win, and that's sometimes people rely on that only because it's just easier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes so much sense. I mean, me and my wife are both 51. Well, she just turned 52. She went like that. I said that, she's older than me. We got a couple
just
month
a number,
gap.
man. Just a number.
Couple month gap, and she hates that she's a little bit older than me. But in really good shape when we were a lot younger, then not so good shape now, and kind of doing that thing where we're just getting back to doing a little bit of cardio and starting to think about those kind of things. But we've got an 8-year-old granddaughter and a 10-month-old granddaughter, and so a couple of months ago we went down to Disney with them just to kind of babysit, keep the baby while they were going on some different rides and stuff, just to make it a little bit more convenient with their friends and that kind of stuff. And I mean, Disney World taught us real quick, man, the walking. We were like, this is crazy. I mean, we're 50, we're not 80.
Yeah.
And we're like so out of breath just pushing a stroller around for a little while. And we're like, it was a huge sign that like, okay, this is not about like, hey, I want to get in the shape I used to be in.
Yeah.
We just really need to get healthier choices all the way around and just build our stamina, build where we can enjoy these little ones coming up. I mean, I'm literally right in the middle of that right now.
Yeah, and it's hard too because you think about probably just doing the normal day activities. You may look at your watch and there's 12,000 steps and you're like, oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. Go to Disney and it's like 40. You're like,
totally.
Oh, that's what a day's supposed to look like. And you're like, you get home and you're like, prop your feet up and it's like, man, this feels good just to relax for a minute.
Yeah.
I said, but it is a lot. And if you can't keep up with them, they're going to say, hey, grandma, grandpa, or whatever they call you, like, well, why aren't we moving? Why are you taking so many rests? They're going to call you out.
Yeah.
My kids do the same thing. They don't do too much anymore because I've kind of gotten back in shape, let myself go. They used to call me Fat Daddy.
No way.
I would sit at the dinner table getting my shoes and socks on, going to the gym, and they'd come by and pull my shirt up and slap me on the stomach and call me, hey, Fat Daddy, you going to go work out? I was like,
yeah.
I'll show you. So, I mean, we've all got our own journey and got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I'm laughing at that because I've had so much experience with that. My 8-year-old granddaughter, we're like, man, she's brutal. But she's not. She's just a kid. Yeah. I mean, I remember she was 6 or 7 a year or two ago. She's done something like that. She was like impersonating Nana and Papa.
Yeah.
And when she did me, she was like, saying something about my belly or whatever. And I told my wife later, I was like, man, I think that hurt my feelings more than anybody ever making fun of me in my life.
Yeah.
But it also made me go, I got to stop.
Yeah, they're brutal. But I mean, it's like sometimes it's like the harsh reality of like, all right, I got to take a look at myself and figure things out.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard if you stop for a certain period of time. It's hard to get back on track. But the biggest thing is you got to start somewhere and start. Whether it's like you said, making healthier choices or whatever you choose to do. I would say start with 1 day a week exercise and then go to 2, and then if you can do that, maybe increase your water intake. I mean, it's small steps, right? Small steps lead to bigger successes. We all know that. It's just sometimes harder to do.
Yeah. Habits, depending on what you do for a living. Like, mortgage business is we work when people are off work. Mm-hmm. So, so I take calls at 7 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I take calls at 10 o'clock at night. Some people are really good at setting up, time blocking where I only do this. I've gotten the habit of years and years of kind of just talking to people when they need me to.
Yeah.
So, learning that, hey, I've got to, not necessarily boundaries, but I got to set the goals, the expectations somewhere and take some time to exercise and do this kind of stuff. I think I used that as an excuse for a long time while I was building my team and getting mortgage business going. Like, I got to do this. I got to focus on this. Then I look up 5 years later, hadn't been to the gym at all.
Yeah.
My eating habits have become just chips and soda in between closings and in between drives because I'm like, well, I don't have time. I'll grab a bag of chips real quick. And then when I get there, I'll get lunch.
Yep.
And then I'll start doing stuff at the office. Then I got to make another trip. So I'm like, I'll grab, I had my wisdom teeth out a couple months ago. And that's when I had this big realization because I'm type 2 diabetic. And at night, my blood sugar started just plummeting.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't eating a lot because I couldn't for 2 weeks. Called my doctor. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with my blood sugar. Started talking and he's like, you're not snacking. So maybe just don't snack anymore.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Like,
easier
that
said
sounds
than done,
great.
right? Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds great. How do I just do that forever? And he's
Yeah.
like, this might be a wake up call to kind of like see how much you snack, monitor a little bit more, maybe make some different choices and move forward with that. But I mean, I was just in such a habit of go, go, go
Yeah.
that I just didn't even realize like this was so important to do this that I didn't realize doing all this stuff is going to make it bad.
Yeah, and it's a long term. I don't say bad choice, but it's
Yeah.
a consistent choice over time will lead to other things, right?
Yeah.
So it could be weight gain, higher blood pressure, sleeping habits are way off. We've all been there.
Yeah.
I've got little kids. My kids are 8 and 6, and there's goldfish are my enemy. They're great, but you really have to. I would say it's a little bit of self control, but yeah, if you don't have things planned out and ready to rock in between those meetings or sessions or showing houses, whatever you're doing, it is hard and it's life. If you see people out there that say you can do it and look like I'll say they're super ripped and they're like, we like to say they've got everything together. I don't know if they've ever had kids or have experienced life where you're super busy. I mean, that's hard. It's hard to do, but if you instill those habits, like you said, I think it's a little bit easier. You just have to kind of compile those one habit at a time, and you'll definitely see some results from it.
Yeah, and I think we're talking about her being a little bit brutal, and that kind of stuff. The other thing is they watch everything you do.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe an 8-year-old can probably intake a little bit more sugar than you can, but if they at least see you some habits, going to the gym, eating a little bit better, drinking more water, all that kind of stuff, there's no way they're not going to pick up on some of it. I feel like.
And that's just being, a good example for them too, because if they see everything that if you're eating all that thing and you're saying, hey, eat your vegetables, and they're like, hey, Nana, you didn't eat your vegetables. Like, why do I have to eat those? They know. And sometimes the brutal honesty from your kids or grandkids is what you need to kind of give you that kickstart too.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't want to get too far. I feel like I didn't take enough time. Tell me a little bit more about where your facility is, where you work out of, and where people come to.
Yeah, so we're located off General George Patton in Brentwood. So it's 1722 General George Patton Drive. I like to say if you've ever been to Let It Shine for gymnastics with your kids, we're on the opposite end of that street.
Okay.
We can walk to the Irish Dance Studio, what's kind of close to us from there. But we've been there for 3 years, but I've been training in Brentwood since 2013.
Cool.
A couple stops along the way before I started my own facility.
Yeah.
So 9 years in the making at Premier Performance Training. Kind of rebranded 2 years into it. I won't go into the weeds of that, but it was just something I tried and didn't work, and now Premier Performance Training is, I call it a household name. There's still a lot of, I've never heard of you before, but I was like, there's got to be at least one person that knows me, being in the area for that. But, I talk a lot about the 45 and older population. That's kind of our bread and butter in the mornings and sometimes the evenings, but we do specialize. We have another specialty. I was a former college football player, small college. People may have heard of it, Lambeth University.
I absolutely have.
Jackson, Tennessee, now University of Memphis, Jackson. But we work with athletes, and our whole goal with athletes is to help them become faster, stronger, more explosive, but also, we're kind of a mentor to a lot of them. I use my kind of life experiences, what I went through as far as the small recruiting that I went through now is completely a game changer. I don't even know how to explain the recruiting now, but just the things I learned, the things that I went through, and trying to just relate that to the kids now kind of goes a long way. I have one of my longest standing athletes. I've been training him since probably 9th grade year. He works for me now. Hopefully when this comes out, he's gotten drafted or picked up from the team in the NFL. But we work with 3rd through 7th graders, working on the foundations of strength conditioning, speed work, body mechanics, making sure you're able to move freely and smooth. We're not really concerned about how much weight you can lift at that age because, sometimes lifting too heavy too early, you become a lot more aches and pains, a lot more issues as far as, growth plates haven't closed up. Parents become a little bit more concerned about, are you really just concerned about lifting weights or actually, improving on mechanics?
Right.
Our whole goal is to improve mechanics, and then worry about the weights later. So we go 3rd through 7th, and then we put our 8th graders in with the high school groups. Okay. We want to make sure that our 8th graders, and that's 8th grade, rising 8th graders, and also 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, we want to make sure they're prepared for high school. Nothing more humiliating than walking into a freshman year of high school and thinking you're the top dog and you've never worked out before, and it's kind of a humbling experience for that. But we want to get them college ready, more of a college prep. So we're going to be brutal. We're going to be tough on them, but we want to make sure the parents know that we care. We love on our kids, just to make sure that they're in the best possible spot to be successful.
Yeah,
we can be hard on them, but it doesn't mean we don't like them. It just means we show that tough love because we know they can do more and they can be a better athlete. And that's kind of what I was shown growing up. Now I don't say kids are soft, but let's just be honest, they're soft. They're soft, and a lot of them are, and it's okay. I mean, I treat them like my kids. I'm hard on my kids, but it's not because I expect them to be, good if we're going to be participating in a sport or paying for something extracurricular. You've got to put some effort into it. We're not a babysitting club.
Right.
It'd be great if I was. I'd be making a lot of money, but it's just not what I want to do. So, for that, just know parents and athletes, just like we care so much, but we want to set them up for success.
Right.
And we've had a lot of successful athletes over the years. We just, not every kid's going to be as successful, and that's okay. We just want to treat everybody the same and know that we're here to help them and not just overshadow the good ones and the average ones, right?
Yeah, and you're right. The recruiting world is insane now compared to even just a few years ago. So, but I mean, the Jackson area, my daughter got her undergrad at Union University.
Okay,
and then my son played ball at Bethel.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, real familiar with that area down there. We spent about 5 years solid driving back and forth. But yeah, I mean, the recruiting stuff is crazy. And I've told him, he's 27 now, and we just kind of talk about like when you were in college, when you were playing baseball in high school and trying to get recruited. And then he went the JUCO route. So he played a couple of years at Vol State.
Okay.
And then got recruited to go play at Bethel and had a good run and got to play 5 years of baseball basically for free. So, it was amazing. It was worth every penny. I mean, I coached summer ball, and that was kind of our goal. We used to tell kids all the time, like, hey, MLB is a great dream, but our goal for you is to get school paid for. Whatever happens with baseball, that's great. But, this is a way that a lot of kids can get scholarships or at least partial scholarships if they're really interested in that sport. Make that the goal, not that I'm going to be the next LeBron James or whatever,
set them up for success. That's always like to say academics is probably first.
Yeah.
So, I went to Lambeth because I was going to play football. I didn't really care about what I was going to major in. That was a total screw up. So I was like, give the advice, go to school for your athletics and your academics, because if you ever decide like I did to leave, after a couple of years, I lost almost like 25 credit hours. So I had to stay for 5 years. And my friends usually joke at me, is like, people who go to school for 5 years usually become doctors later on. So, I mean, I changed from a computer science major to a history major to finally went to UT Martin and was an exercise science. So, my only advice for those who want to become athletes, go to school for your athletics and your academics.
Yeah.
Because if you get hurt and you can never play again, you need to have those credit hours, or else you end up like me, having to go an extra year and paying for it.
Yeah. He went 5 years for because of COVID, that whole mess. But it's kind of funny you said that, because I use him as an example all the time. He's doing good. He's thriving. Super proud of him. But in high school, people used to say like, "What's your backup plan?" And his whole reaction was, "I want to play baseball." Yeah. I mean, he did that 2 years of Vol State. He was getting all of his basic classes like they told him to. Still didn't know what he wanted to major in. Like, literally, what are you going to do if Vol State doesn't work out? He's like, I just want to play baseball as long as I can. So like, finally, when he got to Bethel, he figured out kind of what he wanted to do, got the degree, and but I mean, he tells me all the time, like you said, the athletics and academics. My daughter, so they're the same age. So we have 6 kids, but we talk about them a lot because they're the same age, went to college at the same time. And she was very scholastic, cared a lot about school, was in all kinds of activities, but she was just very focused on her academics. Yeah. He was like, what do I got to do to play baseball? Just what classes I got, where do I got to be?
Finish.
That's it. I mean, that's all he focused on. And, it's kind of funny looking back, but having that drive to have something that keeps you wanting to go to the classes, because he found out real quick when he got to college, the difference of athletics. So I'm sure it depends on the high school and stuff, but I mean, he was just like, in high school, I didn't have to do nothing. He's like, I mean, we barely had homework. Yeah. And he's just like, and this is a few years ago, but I mean, it was just like, and then he got to college, and it was like, man, I've got a paper due that I went to class on Tuesday, and they want something by Friday. He's like, this is humbling, crazy. Right? Yeah, super humbling. And the commitment too. I mean, they're out tarping the field all the time, raking the field. Like, everybody's got a job. the college baseball environment was totally different than high school. I mean, it was like, you better love this, or you're not going to be here very long.
Yeah, I like to tell the kids, you're top dog senior year. You're the the beast on the field. Everybody looks up to you, and then when you go to college, you're a freshman. You're a little ankle biter. You mean nothing to them. You may want to play.
Yeah.
But you got to prove it for that. And so from what I have done, and it's kind of a crazy. I don't say it's a stat. I've been training athletes since 2010, and I just had my sixth one go all 4 years and graduate and play all 4 years. So as many people as we've trained, a lot of times, like, it goes back to what you said, a lot of change of scenery. It's also, mom and dad aren't waking you up for classes. You got to write your own papers, or your friends, whoever you pay to do that. That's on you. Just don't get caught. But it is hard. It is hard. And I say, the ones who stuck it out or are thriving and doing a lot of great things, like, some of them come back and see me. But it's a wake up call because you're going to a different place.
Yeah.
It's not as fun, and I get that a lot. It's not as fun. I don't have as much fun. And I was like, college is supposed to make it fun.
Yeah.
You're relying
it's supposed
on
to be a blast.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. So, like, even though it's a full-time job to be an athlete now, you can have fun. I had fun. I mean, I was in grad school at Florida State. We had fun.
Yeah.
I was super busy doing things like that. I didn't play sports. I played intramurals, but you still have to make time to do other things and meet new people.
Yeah.
And then back at Lambeth, I left after 2 years, and some of my best friends to this day I met at Lambeth.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that's really cool.
And some of them live, they live there. Some live in Brentwood. Some one's a running back coach at North Alabama. We still stay in contact. So it's like, you can have fun and do those things, but you got the priorities of academics, and you got to show up to practice. You got to show up to workouts.
Yeah,
it's a choice.
It's really cool. You were talking about first days on campus. He had such a great experience with the JUCO and then transferring. But one thing he didn't think about until afterwards, he was at Ball State at a JUCO. He's like, man, they're recruiting me to go to this 4-year school. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna enjoy it. What he didn't think about was some of those guys had been there 4 years and were seniors at Bethel. And he was transferring in. I'm just going to play center field, right?
Yeah.
Well, they might have some guy that's played center field for 3 years, and you're walking into him and all his buddies. And so, I mean, it ended up being an amazing experience. But there was definitely he was very lucky that he came in and he did take a spot and got to play full time.
Yeah.
And there was, we talked through it as guys and his father and son. There was a little bit of backlash. There was a little bit of it wasn't cool that you're coming in here. And I mean, he had to deal with some stuff that he wasn't expecting to. But he's thinking, I'm here. They want me to come there. The coaches can't wait to get me on campus. This is going to be awesome. Then you walk onto the field with 30 guys that are already there, and you're one of the 3 transfers they brought in.
You're walking to their territory. They've been there. Yeah, it's like my stomping grounds, and they got this outsider. It's like, who do you think you are?
Yeah, he got a rude awakening like, oh, crap. Yeah. There's somebody here. So I've got to earn, I got to do some stuff to earn some respect. And then, after a while, it all played out how it should, and he had a great experience. But, yeah, I mean, going from high school to college or going from JUCO to that next level or and I'm sure I don't have the experience, but, college to pros or minors or whatever, you've got that stuff all the way up. You've got a pecking order. You've got people that feel like they've got seniority. You've got to earn your spot. Athletics are never about, I don't know, say the word. Athletics aren't about participation. Yeah, especially when you get to higher
next
levels.
Man up, right? And I've had a few experience that from transferring from Division II to Division I schools. Yeah, just recently for that, a guy graduated, but he went into a Division I school being from Division II, and there's guys on there. He took some guys' spots. Yeah, took some people off, and they didn't really like him that much, but he stood his ground, and here we are 4 days or 2 days. Well, tomorrow's the draft, I guess. So it could be 4 days from now. He could be picked up as either a draft pick or, free agent. Either way, it's an accomplishment, right?
That's huge accomplishment.
You got to, I guess, take some of those criticisms and put them in your back pocket and use them for motivation.
Yeah. I mean, that's where competitive drive comes from for a lot of people. Yep. I know myself, I think when I started coaching, I learned how there's different personalities and you can treat people different ways to get the most out of them. Mm-hmm. But then I definitely responded to criticism better than I did coddling.
Yeah, yeah.
My dad was kind of hard on me. So, I didn't want to disappoint anybody. So I responded well to being pushed. Yeah. So I can relate to that a lot.
Well, you got to find out what makes you tick and what's going to, I'll say, motivate you and what's going to kind of, I would say, close you up a little bit. Yeah. I do have to do the same thing with the kids I work with because I can be very vocal and yell. I don't do that too much anymore.
Sure.
unless my buttons are pushed from things that they know they're not supposed to do. But some of them don't respond to that. They will kind of clench up and they will walk the other way. Then I have to kind of pull them aside and say, hey, I didn't do that to call you out intentionally, but I know you can do better and you can do this and that. And then usually they have a little bit better response. Not always, but a lot of times.
It's awesome. The longer you do it, the longer they understand that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like you said, having guys that might get drafted and guys that have gone on to college builds that, confidence in them to get to know you, understand that you've been there, done that. You've got their best interest at heart.
Exactly.
And we're trying to start a plan that's going to get you as, far as you're meant to go as well.
Yeah. And sometimes they see me as the old guy in the gym. Look, I said, I don't care. I said, guys, you can look at me or look at the young guys that I have training you. That's great. But just know I'm a winner and I've helped a lot of people win on the field and on the court. So just because I'm the old guy in here, you may not listen to half of what I say, but just know everything that they're telling you, the other coaches, I've told them.
Sure.
So, a little respect. How about that?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, before we get out of here real quick, let people know how they can reach out to you, whether they've got a elementary school, middle school, high school kid, whether they're, 45 and above. What's the best way to reach out to you and just kind of, ask the questions about next steps or how they can, better their life through your program and your facility?
Yeah, for sure. You can go to at Premier Performance TN. That's TN for Tennessee. You see me with my bearded logo, the one kind of on the shirt here.
Absolutely.
Or you can go to premierperformancetrainer.com. We have a little chat widget. I'll respond to you. So if you have questions about something you've been doing or, whatever for your athlete. I mean, we have people drive 10 minutes to our gym. Mm-hmm. Some we have 30 to 45 minutes. So it just depends on what you're looking for. We can help.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being with us today. I really appreciate the time and telling us a little bit about what's going on.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank y'all for joining us. Reach out to Aaron. He's got some great stuff, does some great stuff in the community. Check out his Instagram and everything they're doing over there. There's some really cool videos of kids working out, people working out there, and just getting a better feel for what they do and how they try to help people. So thanks a lot. See you next time.